Welcome to Eldercare Illuminated, Torchlight's caregiving podcast. Eldercare Illuminated addresses the ins and outs and ups and downs of caring for your loved ones. Join us for interesting conversations with eldercare specialists, geriatric care managers, attorneys, and ordinary people with extraordinary caregiving experiences.
Welcome, listeners, to today's episode of Eldercare Illuminated. I'm Lenore Tracey, your host, and the Eldercare Practice Leader at Torchlight, which brings this podcast to you. Today's episode focuses on a decision or path to a decision that many families grapple with: bringing an aging or ill loved one home to live with you. This podcast is a little different from our usual format. Instead of an interview, I want to share with you my own experience in making the decision to bring my mom home to live with my family, which in my case was my husband and me. This is a multi-step process, starting with the decision to say, yes, we can or we must do this. Preparation and adjustments follow and are full of surprises. Well, at least they were for me. So let's start with the decision to bring mom home. I should first set the scene. My mom was a very social and gregarious person. She was totally clear that she did not want to live with any of her children. She wanted to be independent and with people. She liked group activities, and as she would say, she liked gallivanting around the neighborhood. But she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and there came a time when it was no longer safe for her to drive. That was life-changing. It was life-changing for all of us. And living alone at home just didn't work anymore. I asked myself, should mom come home to live with me? And here I want to interject that as your loved one ages or becomes ill, you may consider and reconsider this decision many times. We thought about this choice over and over again as my mom progressed through the stages of her condition. And the answer and the considerations changed as her capabilities changed, and also as my capabilities and my thinking about how this was going changed. So if you're thinking about this, I want to point out that it's a decision you may revisit, and you may change your mind. Yes, it would work, or no, it won't work, or you may even change your mind that this is not working or won't work anymore and go from the situation where your loved one lives with you to needing facility-based care for any number of reasons. So the first lesson that I learned, and one that I would want to share, is that you need to prepare to be flexible and possibly change your mind and your plans several times. As we contemplated the decision, we thought about a lot of things, which I will narrow down to about 10 of them. And the first one is the really obvious one, that is, what kind of care would mom generally need? And this question had to do with what we call in the business the activities of daily living. So these are the things like bathing and showering, dressing, grooming, using the toilet, eating, and getting around. So that was kind of the top of the list. And of course, the second one for us was how much supervision would she need when you have a loved one who has a dementia diagnosis. Supervision may in fact be the only thing that your loved one needs, and not any other kind of supportive services to take care of her body, as it were. Then we thought about safety in the house as well as wandering, and wandering would be a real issue for a lady who liked to be out and about in the neighborhood, of course. Activities, social opportunities, time to spend with other people was also high on the list. The physical environment, of course. Are there stairs? And in my house, there are stairs. The layout of the bathroom, full bathroom, half bathroom, whatever, how noisy, how other people's schedules would jive with my mom's schedule and her need for care, and also with our need for solitude. So my husband and I are pretty private people, and both of us need alone time. How would that work when there were other people in the house coming and going? Maybe aides, maybe other caregivers, friends and relatives who would expect to visit, and we would need them to visit, of course. And my mom had a cat, so that was another consideration. Would we be bringing Mom's cat home to join our animal family members? And finally, of course, would we ever be able to go out? Would we ever be able to go to the movies again, or out to dinner, or go on vacation? And we talked a lot about these things. We thought a lot about these things. And we came to the conclusion, well, nobody is at home during the day. In my family, I work. So it would be very lonely for my mom. And also, at some point, people with Alzheimer's disease lose the ability to initiate activities and to initiate action. So Mom was at that point, and being at home all day was going to be hard enough, but she wasn't going to get any stimulation. She wasn't going to get the cues and the impetus to move to the next activity of the day. And of course, she was still very, very mobile, and we worried about safety. There was the almost guaranteed possibility of wandering, leaving the house, and there's the whole kitchen safety and safety in any other part of the house, but particularly the kitchen. Do you have a gas range, an electric range? What about, somebody lights a candle and forgets about it? Somebody has a really good idea that goes wrong. And there it was, the medication management question. So we discussed all of these things, and we figured that bringing her home to live with us, it just wouldn't work. It wouldn't work for her, and it wouldn't work for us. So my mother moved into an assisted living facility, and she was pleased as punch to be there, mostly. There were things to do, there were people to hang out with, and she could bring her cat with her, so that was all good, right? Well, it was. It was for a while. And here again, I want to stress flexibility. Knowing what he knows now, my husband would say, be prepared for a series of new normals. And I concur. There came a time about 3 years after managing successfully in a standard assisted living facility that my mom's capabilities and needs had changed. Wandering became an issue at the facility. This wasn't a secure facility, and residents could come and go as they pleased, which was no longer a good option for my mom. And also caring for her pet had become a problem. One of the grandsons had been doing cat duty, litter box, food, that good stuff, but he was going off to college, and I was getting a lot of phone calls at work from the facility. It became obvious that we needed to make other arrangements. So once again, I thought about, bring Mom home? We would be empty nesters. Maybe it would be easier at this point to have her with us. But wandering and safety were still going to be problems, and we were still both out of the house most of the day. So we thought about, could we do this and hire a full-time aide? No, that didn't seem like at this point that it would be affordable. Adult daycare was an option, but those that were available in our area were really not suitable for someone at that stage of dementia. So we began to research local memory facilities and units, and this would be another assisted living arrangement, but it would be in a secure unit, and you can't see my air quotes. It's a lovely euphemism. Let's be clear. A secure unit is a unit at an assisted living facility or in a nursing home where the doors to the unit are locked and typically require a special code or some other method to release the lock to get either into or out of the unit. They're designed to keep the residents from leaving on their own. Some memory units will share the codes so that family members can come and go at will. Others won't do that, which did not feel really good to me. And some secure units aren't all that secure. Ask my friend Suzanne. whose mom figured out the elevator code and left in the middle of the night. Nobody noticed, only to be brought home by the police, who found her wandering on the road. But that's another story. We did find a facility that we were confident would meet Mom's needs. So we moved her into her new home, and we moved her cat into her new home with a relative, since this facility would not really be appropriate for keeping a pet, although they were willing to try, and I give them credit for being willing to do that. But we decided the easiest thing would be if the cat moved into her own new home also. And now we settled into the new normal. And things went pretty smoothly for about 3 more years, which is actually a remarkable run. But then things changed drastically, and Mom stopped walking. That was a game changer. It increased the amount of care she needed enormously. Think about it. Mobility problems. It affects the ability to use the toilet independently, the ability to shower, to get in and out of bed. Going anywhere in or out of the facility became so much more complicated. And the amount of care available at the facility was not enough. So now we were at round 3. Should we move Mom to a nursing home? Should we move Mom in with us? And we revisited those same 10 questions that we had asked ourselves the first time, and I will post those in the show notes for you. They may be useful for some of you as you think about these questions. Somehow the change in mobility and the reliance on the wheelchair made it possible for us to imagine and conceive of bringing Mom home. But she would need help, of course. I'm still going to work every day. This was only going to be possible with the cooperation of other family members, think unpaid care, and the addition of some daily professional care. We would need to have an aide in the house 7 days a week for some number of hours every day if a family member wasn't there. And that would ultimately cost less than a nursing home. In my area, a nursing home would cost between $8,000 and $12,000 a month. So what we were looking at would cost about the same as the assisted living, which she had been able to afford. So we reviewed the 10 questions, and we found that we were now concerned primarily with only about half of them, and some of those were the ones that focused on the physical environment, and the others were, what would it be like for us to have an aide in the house every day? How about our privacy? How about our time commitment when there was not an aide there for evenings, nights, weekends? The issues that we were concerned about and had to look at were the stairs, the bathrooms, our schedules, and other family members' schedules. So now we're bringing in my brother and sister in this case, and what it would be like to have other people coming and going and using the kitchen and in and out all the time. And for those of you who have watched Downton Abbey, when you're used to having other people cleaning up in the house or taking out the garbage or doing all sorts of things, my house is nothing like Downton Abbey. We've never had any people doing other stuff in the house, so this was going to be kind of odd. We were more than halfway to the decision to do this, but there were some conversations that we needed to have with each other as husband and wife, and with other family members that we would need to help us and to give us a break sometimes. And these are really big and really important discussions. If your family is contemplating bringing your loved one home with you, don't make any assumptions. Have those big freewheeling discussions and use your imaginations to think about both the wonderful opportunity in front of you and the things that could go wrong. And vow to cut each other some slack, all of you, everyone involved. Because if you do this, there will be wonderful and horrible moments. I guarantee that. Physical preparations to bring your loved one into your home might include a really close look at the bathroom situation, a really good look at the access to the house. Will you need a ramp? And privacy for your loved one, as well as privacy for your family members. And if there's going to be an aide in the home, where will that person sit? Where will that person eat? How will he or she take a break? If I had it to do over again, I would invite the aide or a home care agency or a life care manager, also known sometimes as a geriatric care manager, to come and check out our physical space. Another and more experienced set of eyes will see things that you will not see. We thought that our downstairs bathroom would be just fine for the aide to help Mom use the toilet. So wrong. We underestimated the amount of room you need for 2 people and a wheelchair to maneuver safely. There's the toilet, there's the washing hands, you can use your imagination and picture how that would work in your bathroom. We needed Plan B. We learned a lot of things in the first 3 weeks after bringing Mom home. And obviously we had made the decision to do that. And we got the thumbs up from other family members, from my siblings, and my children were in agreement that we could manage this and we could do it. And that was really key. So what did we learn in those first few weeks? First, we learned baby monitors are not just for babies. We used an audio monitor. Video seemed way too intrusive to me, so that we could hear if Mom called in the night or fell out of bed or needed something. That was an important technological item to bring into the household. The second thing that we learned was that you will be no less tired being up all night with your old mother than you were with your newborn. Only you will be older and more tired to start with than you were then, which leads to number 3. You need others to help you, and if you don't accept their help or ask for help when you need it, you're doing that proverbial cutting off your nose to spite your face thing. It's a big mistake to try to go this alone. Well, my story has a sad yet happy ending. We brought my mom into our home, and with a lot of help, we managed to give her the best possible care to see her through to her last days in the proverbial bosom of her family. We had a few horrible moments, and I promise you will also, and they're funny in retrospect, like the night that my mom pulled the emergency cord on her super-duper undulating air mattress, which promptly deflated almost instantly, leaving Mom sandwiched in a plastic mattress taco, and us trying to figure out how to reinflate the thing and calm Mom down. It was, in the moment, a Lucy Show episode. I can laugh about it now. It wasn't too funny while it was happening. We also had a lot of wonderful moments with her and other family members, and we got to know the aides who took care of her. They became part of our family. They took such good care of her, and they taught us all along the way how to do things the right way, how to push when pushing's the right thing to do, and how to let go when letting go is the right thing to do. So do think about bringing your loved one home. Think again, ask all the questions, and do what's right for you and your family. It may not be the right thing for your family, and that's good too. And we made that decision at least twice over the course of the Alzheimer's journey that my mom took. I encourage you to explore the possibilities and be creative and think realistically at the same time. Thank you for listening to my story, and thank you for joining us on this episode of Eldercare Illuminated. It's brought to you by Torchlight, the award-winning platform that helps people resolve family challenges, no matter the age, stage, crisis, or concern. We'll see you on the next episode of Eldercare Illuminated. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Eldercare Illuminated, a Torchlight caregiving podcast. Find other episodes of Eldercare Illuminated on iTunes, Spreaker, and Podcast Go. If you're interested in bringing Torchlight Elder or any of Torchlight's other caregiving products to your workplace, please contact info@torchlight.care. That's info@torchlight.care.